If you've started looking into sports betting in 2024 as a side hustle, then it's likely you've come across the two extreme views. On one hand, you will have these ridiculous characters throwing money around, getting into sports cars, telling you that you can make a couple of million in a few years. And then on the other hand, you'll have people telling you that if you get involved with sports betting, then you will lose everything you have and harm everyone around you. Personally, I've been sports betting for over 10 years and it's had a very positive effect on my life. It enabled me to save up for my first deposit on a house, and it's enabled me to work part-time for many years and spend a lot of time raising my children. However, I'm not going to pretend it's all sunshine and rainbows, as in my time betting in the sports betting industry, I've seen all of the negative aspects as well. So in today's video, I just wanted to give you a balanced viewpoint of whether or not sports betting is a good side hustle in 2024 and whether or not it's worth investing your time into. Okay, so let's start off with one of the big pluses for sports betting as a side hustle in 2024. If you're based in the UK and a few other countries, sports betting winnings are tax-free. So this is a massive incentive, obviously, to look at sports betting as a decent side income, a decent side hustle. If you're already working and you're already being taxed on that, all of the money that you make from sports betting, all of that profit goes to you. You don't have to declare it at the end of the year, and the taxman isn't going to take a cut of it. This also means that it doesn't affect any benefits that you might get. So for example, if you're on disability living allowance or you're on working tax credit or child tax credit, because sports betting winnings are not counted as an income, it's not going to affect any of those benefits either. The second big plus for sports betting as a side hustle in 2024 is there's a lot of easy money when you get started. So bookmakers are throwing free bets and sign-up offers at people to get them to join. And if you go around the bookmakers and take advantage of these using a strategy called match betting, then it's very easy to make hundreds into a couple of £1,000 just doing these very easy strategies. Now, I've tried a lot of different ways to make money online. Obviously, I've got this YouTube channel which makes a little bit of money. I've got my own blog. I've done freelance writing for people. I've sold stuff on eBay. I've done a lot of stuff, and the easiest way that I found to make money has definitely been doing match betting. Next up on the list of pros is flexibility. So one of the good things about using sports betting as a side hustle or as a side income is that you can work it around your job. Obviously, the majority of sports are on at the weekend, which is good if you work on Monday to Friday, as you can kind of spend a few hours in the morning on a Saturday and get your betting done and then enjoy the rest of your day. And you can normally work it around any type of job, even if you're doing shift work, for example. You know, you'll find time when there'll be horse racing on in the night time. There's obviously football on in the night time. So yeah, flexibility is a massive plus. The other point to make with sports betting is that you can do it from anywhere as well. So if you wanted to travel, for example, if you're young and you're looking for a way to make money, you can travel to other countries and you can still do sports betting. So when I left university, I went to Thailand for a few years to teach English. I took my laptop, obviously, got an internet connection, used a VPN, and I was still able to do my sports betting over there. And whenever we've been on holiday as well in recent years, I've always took my laptop, and I've also just done the same thing. I've still been able to make some extra money from a sports betting while we're on holiday in Greece. Now let's go over to the other side of the argument and look at some of the negative aspects of the sports betting industry. So the biggest one is probably going to be the potential to become addicted, or the addiction to sports betting, where people will worry that they'll start sports betting and they won't be able to stop, and they will lose a lot of money, and it'll damage their kind of family life and damage their finances, and they'll get in debt, and it'll just be this horrible spiral. So this can happen, and it does happen to people, just as people get addicted to alcohol and drugs. People abuse simple things like caffeine. You know, this is just the fact of life, that there are some people that are going to become addicted to things, and it's going to have a negative impact. So when you look at sports betting, you're going to have to ask yourself, do you have any of these negative habits in your life? Is this something that you've struggled with before? If you're quite disciplined and you're able to be accountable for your own actions, and you can see sports betting for what it is, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. However, if you do have a problem with addiction, or you have had a problem with addiction in the past, and it's negatively affected your life, then it's likely that you shouldn't get into sports betting. The next negative to sports betting as a side hustle in 2024 is that you have to deal with bookmakers. Now, bookmakers are frustrating and annoying for various reasons. The biggest one is that once you learn how to make money from the sports betting markets using various different strategies, if the bookmakers see that you are making money over the long term, they start to limit your account so you can only bet very small amounts, or they will actually just close your account completely, and they're allowed to do this legally. There's nothing stopping them. So if they don't want to take a bet from you anymore, they will just close your account. The other thing about dealing with bookmakers is if you're a winning sports bettor, at times they will make the withdrawal process much harder than it really should be. For example, you might deposit £20 into a bookmaker, and you'll verify your ID and everything will be fine, but you run that up to £500 in profit, you come to withdraw, and suddenly the bookmaker are asking you for all different sources of additional documentation, such as like an ID, selfie ID. Sometimes they've been asking people to notarize documents, they've been asking to see unredacted bank statements, and if you've got transfers between friends and family members on those statements, they've been asking then to see the statements of other people. So there are times when bookmakers will be very underhanded, and they will just try and put you off from betting with them in the future, as they know that you're a sharp sports bettor who's going to make money in the long term. Due to bookmaker limitations and closures, another thing that you have to factor in with sports betting as a side hustle is that it can be quite hard to scale, as even though your skills might be improving and you might be learning new ways to make money from the sports betting markets and your bankroll's growing, you might not necessarily be able to make those bets just because you're being closed everywhere. So in comparison to other side hustles like Amazon FBA or YouTube or starting a blog, you might not see the growth that you want to see. Overall then, is sports betting the best side hustle that you could start in 2024? Well, there's a lot of factors that you need to consider. For example, do you enjoy sports? Do you enjoy problem solving? Perhaps you've grown up playing a lot of computer games, strategy games, or even board games, and you can see sports betting as an extension of that, and you can transfer some of those skills into becoming a good sports bettor. Or do you absolutely hate mathematics, for example? Then you might want to look at doing something else, something more creative. Because generally, to do something well, you're going to need to enjoy it and find it engaging, otherwise you're just going to lose interest and move on to something else. So for example, if I can compare what I first started doing when I was trying to make money online, which was reselling, with sports betting, I much prefer the process of sports betting. As with reselling, you have to find the stock initially, then you have to list that stock on a website, you have to package it, send it off, and the whole process between finding it and then selling it and seeing the profit took a very long time. Whereas with sports betting, I can find the edge, I can find a profitable bet, I can make that bet, and then I can just move on to the next one. On the flip side, there are some people that are just not suited to gambling at all, and the idea of having something tangible that you can buy and sell really appeals to them. And if that's you, then yeah, you should consider other side hustles over sports betting. Perhaps you want a side hustle that makes money passively, or even you want a side hustle that you can grow and eventually sell. If that's the case, then sports betting is probably not for you. Even though you can automate some of it, you are actively a lot of the time searching for bets. Let me know your thoughts on whether or not sports betting is one of the best side hustles that you can start in 2024. As I know, there's a wide range of people that watch this channel. We've got long-time sports bettors, people that bet professionally, people that may have made a lot of money before but have moved on to new opportunities. So yeah, let me know what you think.